That's now 3 in a row for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they end the trip with a winning record of 3-2. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers postgame show, live from the Xfinity studio, along with Derek, Kyle, I'm Devon. Bree is with us here on the postgame show, the president of basketball ops, of course. All of you in the chat, we are presented by Bet365, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365, and your team is improving once again.
Cooking right
19-14 after an impressive victory over the New York Knicks. Final score 130-119. And after a first quarter where it was a 31-30 and at halftime, the Sixers had a really good second quarter. You were worried about the third and what could happen. They still won the third despite New York making a bit of a push, but the Sixers did enough where you can kind of look at this one and say it was a dominant win over the New York Knicks, their second win in New York against the Knicks in about 2.5 weeks. 2 more games, of course, in Philadelphia for their normal 4-game schedule during an 82-game season. But that was a really, really good win. We'll get to the player of the game as we go along. We'll also talk about the unsung hero presented by Togo, the Ace Hardware temperature check as well. And all of your chats, your super chats, as your basketball team is tough, Kyle. I wanted to say red hot, but they've only won 3 in a row. But the vibes are so good, you just kind of want to say that that's an extra 3 wins because of how good things are going for this basketball team. What impressed you the most as we start things off here with this win?
There's about 50 different directions we could go. I want to start with Tyrese Maxey for once, though, because I feel like we've gotten to the point with him that we used to be at with Joel, where Joel would roll out of bed, score 35, and it's like, that's just kind of what the big man does. And tonight, I was struck by, I'm writing my recap, and I'm gushing about VJ Edgecombe, who was incredible in his own right. And he scores 18 points in the first half, and we're just in absolute awe of what he was doing. And you look at the stat sheet, and it's like, Tyrese already has 16, 5, and 2 himself, and you're barely even noticing that he's there. And he has slid into that effortlessly dominant role that previously was occupied by Joel Embiid, who, by the way, he was very good tonight and looks really damn good compared to the start of the year. But Tyrese Maxey in the second half of this game just walked Jalen Brunson down. Like, a lot of that second half was hunting Jalen Brunson, who is nowhere close to the defender that Tyrese is right now. And he was very deliberate about, I want to get him in a ball screen and make him defend me. I'm going to make him come out and meet me. I'm going to make him move with me from the mid-range. And he just dog-walked him for long stretches of that second half. He was cooking so hard in the third quarter that the Knicks then just said, well, we're going to throw traps at you almost all the way out to half court. And that's when you saw some possessions where it was 2 on the ball at Maxey. VJ then gets the ball on the other side of the floor, and Joel is stationed right in the middle as if they're playing a zone. And Joel is getting either an easy one-on-one matchup that you trust him to beat, or in a few cases, someone like Barlow, someone like Jabari Walker, Paul George, Quentin Grimes, whoever it might be, has an easy cut down the baseline to the basket, out of the dunker spot, out of the weak side corner, and they're getting dunks, layups, easy baskets. All of that is flowing out of the initial double that's getting thrown at Tyrese out to half court. And we're so used to seeing Joel draw the doubles. Joel can't be single covered inside the arc. It's been a long time since anyone has consistently been able to, from the perimeter, draw 2 on the ball and then turn it into, hey, you're playing 4 on 3 the rest of the floor. That's how good Tyrese Maxey was tonight. That's how good Tyrese Maxey has been for a lot of this season. And there were great performances up and down the roster tonight, but that guy is playing at an unbelievable level. And the more games they win, and as other guys are tailing off a little bit, you start going back to those conversations like, can he get into the MVP mix? Because the other thing is, a lot of the guys who are in that MVP mix are injured and are not going to qualify because of the games played threshold. So, like, you look at Shea as the front runner right now, and after that, there are not a whole lot of guys that you could say are having a convincingly better season than Tyrese Maxey is right now.
While you're at it, before Derek gets to his points, you might as well talk about the defense that you were laying out there for Tyrese.
And that's the other thing.
So, yeah.
Here's the beauty of we've seen Joel play more regularly. And what that does is it does help Tyrese on offense. He's able to get like practice threes early in games now because Joel will get the ball on the block, will get the ball at the nail. And then it's, hey, if you send two, Maxey's open in the corner, Maxey's open in the trail spot, Maxey's open on the wing, so he can get going on offense. But what that does, on top of giving him easy shots, it saves him some energy, and he can exert that energy as a rebounder. He can exert that energy as a defender. I was saying to you all throughout the game, Devon, he probably could have had 5 or 6 steals in this game, and they were all just, he read the passing lane, he used that speed that we know he has, and he's like, it was just, he stepped out of bounds a couple of times. 1 or 2 probably just glanced off his hands. I think I said to you on the one, I think he thought he was out of bounds or close to out of bounds, and he pulled his hands back a little bit, and so it deflects and it goes out of bounds. But it just feels like he is everywhere. He's ever present. He's getting into guys, into their chest, playing on-ball pressure defense too. So you add both sides of the floor up, and it's like, dude, you think about like Luka Doncic has been in the NBA discourse recently, right? Putting up video game numbers on offense, and you look at the other end of the floor, and you just see him doing he's just looking around and staring, and there's all this discourse about you can only be so good with, even if he is that good offensively, a guy who doesn't care on defense. What Maxey is doing is scoring 30-plus points a game on good efficiency, and he's rebounding, and he's playmaking, and he's bought in on defense. Like, for a guard to do all that is not something you see often, not in Philadelphia, but in the league in general. Like, could not be more impressed with the season he's having and with that game that he played tonight.
I'm glad you started off there because Maxey was third on my list, and that says more about me than it does Maxey, right? Because you're right. You're at the point where you take him for granted. He can drop 36 points, including 11 in the third, I think another 8 or 9 in the fourth, really walk the game home, and you're like, yeah, that's Tyrese. That's what he does. Yeah. That's what you expect out of him. The way Joel Embiid is moving right now has me, I'm not even gonna say like optimistic. Like, I'm excited to see what they can do for the rest of the year. Because it was like, we brought this up. There were like a bunch of different ways this season could have been a theoretical success. Whether that is Maxey taking that leap into being a number one option, a true lead guy that you can build around, that is clearly looked like that has taken that leap, and you've got a success there. This season could be a success from VJ Edgecombe, looking like he is the right running mate alongside of Tyrese Maxey. Clearly, that's looking like a success. Then there was a third way the season could be a success, which looked like a smaller percentage chance, but that would be Joel Embiid getting back to maybe not what he was, but certainly significantly better than what he was last year, and somewhere in the middle of his MVP form and last year's form. And right now, it just looks like you're getting all three of them at one time. And I don't know how you can be watching this and not be exciting. And look, I understand everyone is sort of like protecting themselves against hope.
I'm still going to protect myself because
I understand it. But if he is actually like this you are incredibly dangerous. And look, he is moving well. I thought maybe he's going to get some credit for that dunk at the end, first dunk of the season. Congrats, Joel. That rebound he had at the end, I thought was maybe more impressive because he got some legitimate lift on there in his 33rd minute of play. And he looks like he's bought in and trying to move the ball too. Like, he is posting up at the right times, not just to get his own offense, but to create shots for others. He's really operating as a hub of the offense at times and moving the ball quickly. There were so many people who, when he was moving poorly, or maybe when they were trying to find the chemistry between 3 or 4 of them now, I'm going to stop calling them big 3 because that is very disrespectful to VJ Edgecombe. There was a lot of people concerned about the chemistry between the 4 of them, and they had played 3 games together. And it was like, okay, we've seen Joel Embiid, first of all, the skill development throughout the course of his career, and also just learning the game at a rapid pace. Give him some time, give him some reps to try to figure out not only his own physical limitations, but his role on this team and with this collection of talent. And if you can give me like not just maybe a couple of weeks, but you give me the rest of the season. Maybe you even give me 2 or 3 seasons with this core. I know I'm looking way ahead of myself for a guy who, he's played like 9 out of 13 games. We're all excited.
Let's get through January first.
Look, this is already more than I expected. If it continues to trend in that direction, we could be talking about legitimately anything with this team.
So I'm glad you went there. I wanted to go there with Embiid also, but this is a 3-man show. Well, 4.
And I also just feel bad. I feel like it's always, Maxey's like C block on the show because
No,
somebody else
right.
steals the
But you're
thunder.
absolutely right.
But I'm with you, God. I'm 100% with you.
So this is a 4-person show. We talk about the big 4. Bree, you got Paul George. I'll take VJ Edgecombe on this one because VJ Edgecombe was tremendous again. We talked about a pregame of Kyle was on vacation, but while he watched from far, far away up in the middle of the night watching the basketball game, VJ Edgecombe was not afraid of Madison Square Garden and the team that was obviously hosting the Sixers in that one. And all he did was come out. He was 10 for 18 in that first game. He's 10 for 16 in this one with 26 points. And as we talked about it, and Kyle mentioned how he was more impressed with VJ Edgecombe's defense on Jalen Brunson, there was no way he could do it again. Now, second night of a back-to-back for the Knicks. We talk about it ourselves for the Sixers. No excuses because they were on the floor. VJ Edgecombe was incredible again with this 2-way game that he had. Yes, I know he blocked Mikhail's shot, went the other way.
If we would acknowledge it on the show.
I'm a pro. I know. I saw it. And 2 more games on the season. We're coming for you, VJ. But he was really, really good again as the second or the third or the first option. And when Bree talks about Paul George later, where he had his stretch of about 6 points where they really needed it and some big shots there, VJ Edgecombe just continues to show us more and more and more things as he is out there on the floor. And I talked about this after the win against Dallas, the trust that they have now for him. It was evident early when he had that 5-game start. And even going back and listening to Paul George in the summer when he had him on his podcast. And he said, no, don't wait for us. You just do it. And he was so good, though, from what we had heard with the open runs, the things that they had together in the summer, that he had opened their eyes so much. He gets off to the start. He has his trouble spot, bounces back again, back-to-back 10-point games in their losses. And here he is on this 3-game winning streak where it seems like he is unfazed by anything now that's out there on the floor. And that is super, super impressive by a rookie they are right now, the Sixers, 19-14. He missed about 3 of those games.
Yeah.
So he has played just under 30 games so far this season, or right at 30. And he has shown so much for what he has done from the defensive play, his hands as good as they are, the improvement that he has shown where he is not, again, reaching all the time and jumping into guys, picking up these silly fouls that we saw early on because he's so excited to get in there because he's so good at what he does defensively this early in his career. That's impressive. The open floor stuff where, listen, he got the block on Kale, but he didn't give up. He kept going, found him, saw Tyler Kolek. When you said Tyrese Maxey was hunting Jalen Brunson, well, they were hunting Tyler Kolek when he was out there, and VJ Edgecombe was one of them. He saw him. There was no resistance in front of him to go and get that left-handed dribble away from the rim, 2-handed dunk. We talk about the athleticism. That's hard, and he made it look really easy. And then the shot making. He was 3 for 3 before he was handed a grenade from Jared McCain in that early part of the game from 3. And for him to knock down the step-back threes that we were acknowledging during the games, as easy as he is doing right now, is really, really something at this stage of his career. Again, he's going to hit a wall again. It's going to happen. But he has shown so much improvement from Baylor a year ago, less than a year ago, to where he is right now as an NBA pro. And I continue to go back and think about how he talked with us about how much space is now on the floor before he played an NBA game. The things that he didn't like about college basketball where 2 bigs were always occupying the paint and making it difficult for him. And his ability now to finish around the rim, at the rim, over people, the way that he is doing is they got this one right. We talked about a lot of draft guys, and all of them are still really good. They got this one right. And Tyrese Maxey got a pretty good running mate next to him for some years to come with this guy right now next to him. 77, by the way, I don't mind it now. It's all good. You look pretty good in 77.
If you play this while we're in 77, you wear that till you retire, boy. I will say this about, I think there are or have been problems with the leadership styles of Joel and Paul George in the past. I think last season, with the way it went, you could see some of the limitations there. I think one thing you could give them tremendous credit for, and not just this year, but across their careers in general, and you brought it up, both of those guys are more than willing to empower young guys. They are not the VJ Edgecombe coming into a team, Tyrese Maxey when he came in as a rookie with Joel. Like, they have never been the sort of people to say, you're a rookie, you're only allowed to take 5 shots.
Can I even add in players like Ricky Council IV, Justin Edwards, where they took them
all gotten their chances. That it's not
right.
It's not an ecosystem or an organization where you come in as a young player and aren't able to express yourself. I mean, Jared McCain last year, I know that some of that is injuries and some of that is just like they were forced to play him to some extent.
Paul George was like, here.
But they gave him the opportunity,
right.
and credit to him last year for taking advantage of that. But VJ, part of the, I think, trepidation with him came down to when you watched him at Baylor, you weren't sure if it was a product of the system, product of coaching, surrounding personnel, that he wasn't willing to take what we refer to as like star shots, right? The pull-up threes, the step-back threes, to wave off a Joel Embiid, to wave off a Paul George and say, I got this. He even waved off Maxey tonight on an end quarter possession where Maxey had a kind of possession the play before, and VJ was cooking, and he's like, I got it, buddy. Like, just give me this possession and let me cook a little bit. And I wasn't sure how much of that was going to be in him long-term, let alone in year one. So to me, that's the thing that it all flows out of. You have to have this unsinkable, unassailable confidence. And when you go into Madison Square Garden, I don't care if they're on a back-to-back, it's a terrifying place to play for a lot of young players. I know he went to school in New York, and so like probably the mystique is not as there for him. But to see him play 2 games at MSG where he is undisputed one of the best players on the floor and have a half like he did in the first half tonight where he was the singular best player on the floor to me, I can't believe we were already here. And what I was thinking as I'm writing my recap tonight was all these comparisons have just seemed crazy where people are like, he's Anthony Edwards, he's Dwayne Wade, he's Jimmy Butler. And like the more games he plays, I'm like, I don't know how you put a ceiling on him. He's getting better rapidly at the things that we were most worried about, the finishing, the 3-point shooting. I think it was Constantine perhaps in the chat tonight who said the craziest thing about his efficiency was that he took 3 late clock grenades and missed all of those. And he still had an awesome and efficient night from the field as a shooter. He has been unbelievably good. And as you said, Devon, under 30 games played as an NBA player. And he's already good enough to be one of the best players on the floor at MSG and play the best defense they had on the other team's best player the entire game.
He said comparison is the thief of joy, didn't he?
He did.
He did.
Everybody else is going to compare that.
Bree, while Derek talks, can you throw up the player of the game if you already have that queued up so we can talk about as Derek goes on the VJ Edgecombe conversation.
The 3-man.
The 3-man team up here. Derek, go for it. Everybody just read the stats while Derek talks.
No, I mean, look, first of all, I just want to point out, at this point last year, so through January 3rd of last year, he had made 14 total threes at Baylor and was shooting 30.4%.
And that's closer to the basket.
That's closer. Yes, that's an easier shot. Which is why you spend so much time talking to people around these prospects, watching them in different contexts, like we did and pointed out, and just really diving into the work ethic of them, because we really had people in this chat trying to gaslight us into saying Ace Bailey was going to contribute more just because he was 6'8". Look at all the things he does on the basketball court, man.
Every
he's
single
6'8".
night.
Like
Incredible.
he's 6'8", right?
Yeah.
He plays like he's 6'8".
does.
He has the impact of a guy who's 6'8".
Yeah, so the combo once again for the player of the game, the trio, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, VJ Edgecombe combining for 88 points, 10 for 19 from 3, by the way. Joel only made the 1, but so what? Field goals, 33 for 53 for the trio, 20 rebounds, 13 assists. They were fantastic tonight once again as the Sixers win their 3rd consecutive game to close out their 5-game road trip. After 2 awful and frustrating losses that they had to begin the trip, they bounced back with 3 really good wins and had to do them in similar ways too. The overtime against Memphis, they were close against the Dallas Mavericks until they weren't, and then playing the Knicks, who we said, the Knicks are a better team than the other 2. What are you going to do when you go into New York with a frustrated Knicks team, 2-game losing streak, and losing on the second night of a back-to-back? How are you going to respond? They go out there and they do that. So when we come back, we talked about 3 of them. Bree's got the 4th, and that's the unsung hero. We're going to talk about him on the other side and so much more, including all of your super chats that we see there. I saw a haiku waiting for us as well, Kyle.
Boy.
We're going to get to that one. So much more. Sixers win 130-119, 19-14 on the season, 3-game winning streak. And now they come home after 3 in a row to end their 5-game trip. It's the PHLY Sixers postgame show right here, presented by Bet365.
Philly sports fans, listen up. It's the season of gifting, and if you're looking for something truly unforgettable this year, or if you just forgot to get something nice for somebody for Christmas, because we are in January, I've got the perfect idea. Got to check out the incredible work from Philadelphia sports artist Jordan Spector at SpectorSportsArt.com. I own one of Jordan's pieces myself. You can see a beautiful piece here of Saquon Barkley from the Snow game. That one, these aren't just posters you hang on the wall. They're museum-level artworks of the greatest moments and icons in Philly sports history. Now, Devon Givens holding it up is not coming along with what you're going to get. But the collection comes in prints, canvases, even athlete partner trading cards, including a piece of Brandon Graham's real game-worn jersey and one of those cards from that matchup in New Orleans against the Chiefs. If you got a diehard sports fan in your life or just want to treat yourself, it's the kind of gift they'll talk about forever. SpectorSportsArt.com. That's SpectorSportsArt.com. Grab something epic for the Philly sports fan in your life.
Guys, you want to keep your finances under control this holiday season, you need to be using Monarch. Rated the Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025, Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. During this holiday season, Monarch was the wake-up call I needed. It made me stop and adjust my spending before the credit card bill arrived. Monarch does all the heavy lifting for you, linking all of your accounts in minutes so you can get clear data visuals, smart categorization of your spending, and real control over your money. Monarch gives your partner full access to your shared dashboard, including linked accounts, budgets, goals, and spending activity, all in one place and at no extra cost. Monarch was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code PHLY at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PHLY.
And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers post-game show. Make sure you hit the like button, everybody, while you're in here. A lot of folks watching on a Saturday night. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, like and subscribe. And while you're at it, when you do go to allphly.com, you'll see the great words written by Kyle Neubeck with the post-game instant observations, good, bad, ugly, all that good stuff in there. A lot of good, mostly good in there. So go check it out, allphly.com. Sign up.
We got some people in the UK tonight. I saw Sammy UK is in here.
Sammy, what up?
Our guy
Doing
Joaquin
SIGs.
said stayed up for this one. 3:30 a.m. in Dublin. Brother, I've been there. I watched the previous Sixers-Knicks game at 3:30 a.m. in Luxor, Egypt. So all our people everywhere, but definitely the people who are fighting sleep overseas, we appreciate you for coming through tonight.
Sammy! Made me think of Sinners right away. Sam A.
Great movie, by the way.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's get to the unsung hero presented by Togo, the leader in operations outsourcing. Let Togo handle the work that gets in the way of your work. You call the plays, we execute. They executed overall tonight. Bree, who is the unsung hero tonight?
It's PG.
It's Paul George. Kyle? Paul George.
Paul George did not have the loudest game in the world, but I thought this was a game that showed the difference between a third option or a fourth option in this case, a fourth option making $50+ million that irritates me, and a fourth option making $50+ million that I will go to bat for. A lot of what we struggled with Tobias Harris was if the offense wasn't rolling, you never really felt like he was going to do the little things. And this was a little things game for Paul. A bunch of amazing transition defense possessions where 35-year-old Paul George is running harder down the floor than anyone else. He blocks Jordan Clarkson on one. He set Quentin Grimes up to make a play on another one. You and I were yelling at him for Quentin, why are you reaching in and committing a foul there? You got two guys back and you can make a play without fouling. But Paul got there to give him a chance to make a play, hit a huge three down the stretch and got his shot going a little bit in the second half. He had the offensive rebound really late in the fourth, dropped it off to Quentin that was basically the game was over at that point. That's what I need him to do, right? If he's not going to score 25 points and he's not going to score 25 points often, now that Joel's back and rolling, now that VJ is getting a larger share of the offense and has really asserted himself near the top of the pecking order, what I need him to do is just everything else. You're going to rebound, you're going to play make, you're going to weak side rim protect, you're going to run back in transition, you're going to be the low man when you need to be, you're going to X out when you need to, you're going to communicate from all over the floor. I need you to do everything else. Tonight he did everything else, and that's part of why they won that game. He's not the biggest reason, he's not in the top 3 reasons, but he's right behind that top group, and he absolutely made a huge positive impact on this game.
He really is, if you just completely ignore the contract, which I know is tough, especially in a salary cap sport with all kinds of weird rules around it. But if you ignore the contract, he is really just about the perfect fourth option, with availability concerns aside. The defense is incredible. Like, he is a legitimately incredible defender. The off-ball shooting, he made 2 straight corner threes, off-ball threes. Spacing that floor is really important. He makes good decisions with the basketball, ended up with 6 assists. Did all the little things that Kyle just talked about, and doesn't seem like he ever really demands the ball. If you were going to have a guy who was going to be a fourth option behind Maxey and Embiid and VJ, ignore the contract, Paul is almost perfect. Now, obviously, you can't completely ignore the contract. He's going to frustrate you at times. There's going to be games where your stars are out and you want him to, increase his usage, and he's going to struggle. But he just does so many little things. And I like that there are games like today where you can appreciate those little things even more because your other 3 stars are carrying so much of the offensive burden. I think Kyle was 100% right, where it's just when you dig down and really watch what he does and the way that he impacts the defense, not just one-on-one defense, which I think a lot of people over-focus on, but getting back in transition, making his rotations, being sound positionally, having good hands on defense, even providing a little bit of weak side shot blocking or at least deterrence. He just does so many little things on that side of the court that add up to a big deal when the game is all said and done. He really did help stabilize this defense almost from the moment he took the court. Now, it's everyone, again, finding their roles in offense, and at times I think Paul can get lost in the shuffle a little bit, but I think they will get better and better and better the more reps they get.
And I wonder, too, sometimes when we do get frustrated, and look, we watch the game, so we react to when the shot comes, how the game is flowing. But to your point, if he's not getting the touches, sometimes you're just, hey, I need to get my shot off, too, even though it may not be the best. It's in rhythm for what he thinks it is, based on if it's a transition 3 and he's okay from shooting over whatever defender's there, even though it's close and contested. But he's just like, I need my touch and I can knock it down. But the other stuff really does outweigh when that happens, when it's a frustrating shot at a point in the game, because he is pretty selective. And we've seen him so many years from Indiana to OKC and Los Angeles where he was never a selfish player. He was also always a guy that would pass the basketball, can play that two-way defense the way that he does, and really switchable with the teams that he did play for and score. All right, he's 35 now, so he can't score that way. But the IQ is there. He still knows how to do those things. And we would give credit to guys like Danny Green, who was just a really good help defender at that stage of his career.
Notably not a good on-ball defender.
Right, exactly.
Unfortunately.
Right. But you can age and still have the
Yes.
IQ of just being a good team defender without having to use your hands too much, where you get in foul trouble, not get beat off the dribble all that often against these young, faster, athletic guys. And he's just really smart of when he takes the gambles and beating players to their spot to make them adjust to what they have to do. And then also giving up the basketball when he does, because he shouldn't be pushing that break depending on where that steal is. So the shot making and the turnaround jump shots, the timely rebounds that he has in these games. Once again, as we talk about now, the big four and where they are, sometimes he's going to have to be the 3 because VJ Edgecombe is not going to have it. Sometimes he might have to be the 2 because Joel Embiid is out for a game on a back-to-back and he cannot play those 2. And I'll point this out one more time as I look at it, just 35 minutes and 10 seconds. And before the game, I happened to see our guy Adam Aronson from Philly Voice, and he talked about what Nick Nurse had to say pregame, which was no more restrictions right now for any of their players. That
Big deal.
For Joel Embiid and Paul George. They both played over 33 minutes tonight. They were both really impressive. 5 fouls for George, 4 for Embiid, but that's okay because they found a way to stay in the game, stay attached to their guys, help out overall, and still just do stuff defensively where, look, Paul George got 2 block shots tonight. All right, Joel Embiid made guys change their shots at the rim. That's okay because the effort is there for everywhere else on the floor where all of that stuff is kind of out of the window, especially when you get a W. So Paul George, the unsung hero, fantastic work.
And let me quantify he makes the defense better a little bit. Coming into this game, they were 7.4 points better per 100 possessions with Paul on the floor. That's 92nd percentile for the entire league. So that's elite stuff, right? And some of the guys who are making a big difference defensively are not able to fit into an offense to the degree that Paul is, do not have the offensive ceiling that Paul does. They're better at basically everything. They turn teams over more. The other team shoots worse against the Sixers when Paul George is on the floor. They get fewer offensive rebounds as a share of their possessions. And here's a big one. We talked about coming into the game. One of the things you fear playing the Knicks, especially with how big they are and with Brunson, is you foul more because they're playing these small lineups. You're going to reach in. You're going to pick up fouls. They foul way less when Paul is on the floor because he's a smart defender and he also has the size to offer where if he ends up in these matchups against the Mikal Bridges, the OG Anunobis, even some of the smaller bigs in the front court, you can trust him to not foul all the time. So he makes a difference in basically every quantifiable way on defense, makes a huge impact on this team regardless of what happens on offense.
Absolutely. Paul George, our Togo unsung hero of the night, the unsung hero presented by Togo, the leader in operations outsourcing. Let Togo handle the work that gets in the way of your work. You call the plays, we execute. Derek, the minutes restrictions lifted for right now. That's a pretty big deal.
Huge deal.
Pretty big deal.
We're like a couple weeks away from like Joel needs 2 days off after every game. He can't play more than 26 minutes. Like all of these things that you had to navigate.
26 minutes was the high end too.
And like you would see
stretching, yeah.
You would see like Nick like be like, all right, well, should we like sit him for the entire second quarter so he has more minutes to play at the end, or should we use all of our minutes in the first 3 quarters and just live without Joel in the fourth? Like you had to go through all of these hoops just to try to field a actual rotation. And I'm just blown away by how Joel just looks like a basketball player again. Like he just looks like a very high level basketball player that's making a huge impact. And like he's playing at an all-star level right now. Not enough games to qualify, all that stuff. He's just an impact player right now. And I truly did not know, because like he was never truly an impact player last year. Like Maybe a little bit in December. He had a couple nice games, but there was never a portion of that schedule where you were like, he's dominant. He's an impact player right now, and I truly did not know if we'd ever see it again.
All right, let's take our second pause. Before we do, Bree, Mark Jackson had a super chat while we were talking about Paul George, but it was about Tyrese Maxey. So let's just talk about this one pretty quickly here, and we can elaborate on it a little bit more. It says, based on what Kyle talked about in the opening segment, where he wanted to start off with it, Tyrese Maxey, first team All-NBA? Well, when you talk about Giannis, Jokic, all these players missing these games.
Wemby has missed time.
Wembanyama's missed time. And the fact that it is no longer positionless, it looks like he's making a strong
playing like this,
case,
and they
man.
keep winning games. He's got as good a chance as anybody not
And
named Shea.
those first returns for the voting, and he was second in the East. And now fans, are seeing this. They're going to continue to vote for him, and we might be talking about a starter for one of those two USA teams for the All-Star game in February. We come back. We continue to talk about this basketball team and a temperature check presented by Ace Hardware. Sixers win 130-119. That's 3 in a row for your squad. We're discussing it right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. All right, everybody, the new year is here and you're setting those resolutions. Remember when you wanted to start that business when you were younger and you said, I don't know when I'm going to do it. I know you've been doing your research, though. And the great place for you to go is Shopify. That's right. What kind of dreams did you have when you were a kid? Is it something that is obtainable in the 2026 calendar year and you want to get started and you need somebody to help you out? Shopify is a place for you to go. You might as well do it now. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Shopify even powers the PHLY merch store here at the PHLY network. So if you've ordered from us, you see how easy it is. It's great. Go do it. Turn your business idea into cha-ching. That's right. With Shopify on your side, sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. Cha-ching. All right, folks, the holidays are over, but you didn't eat great. So now it's time to get back on your normal routine. And I know you are part of Factor Meal Kits. If you're not, get back to Factor right now. And with Factor Meal Kits, unlike meal kits that require prep and cooking, Factor delivers fully prepared, ready-to-eat meals in just 2 minutes. More variety, more meals, and you get to choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices, like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Eat smart at factormeals.com/PHLY50 off and use code PHLY50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code PHLY50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. This exclusive holiday offer won't last long. Lock in your savings before the New Year rush. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers postgame show. No, I'm sorry. I had the wardrobe change there for the second ad read. I apologize. I'll bring back the burgundy hoodie another day. All right, we got to get to an Ace Hardware temperature check, and we got a bunch of super chats that we have to get through as well. But the Ace Hardware temperature check presented by Ace Hardware. Home services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Derek talked about him. That was Joel Embiid. Kyle, you didn't add a lot. I didn't add a lot. Bree didn't add a lot. Let's get to Joel Embiid heating up because he has been really, really good. Derek was great about what he talked about. Want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I think Derek is absolutely on the money that what we've seen from him is a level of Joel play that I don't know if I thought it was still in him, and I don't know if I thought he could do it consistently, and I don't know that I thought we would get to a point by early January that he would play every other day consistently, even if that's something that we'll have to see if that's more touch and go the rest of the month. What I loved about this game, it just felt like the perfect blend of, okay, Joel's got a favorable matchup. Joel got a deep touch or deep position against somebody. Give him the ball and he's going to attack. Joel gets the ball and he's getting doubled. That's a kick out to the perimeter. VJ's going to get a shot. Paul's going to get a shot. Tyrese is going to get a shot. And you're also seeing him iterate on what he had already built with Tyrese Maxey. I brought this up to you, Devon, during the game. I said, was that a fake through the legs pass that he just did? Where we've seen that a couple times. We saw it in back-to-back games. Once against Memphis, once against Dallas, where he's now putting this on tape that he's going to throw these BHO essentially through the leg passes to Maxey for threes. And tonight he opened the legs up, feinted like he was going to throw it, and then took some space inside the arc. And I believe on that possession, got the ball back to Maxey. But that's just another little wrinkle within a two-man game that was already super successful. And he's moving better. We're seeing more drives from him, I think is a big thing, where he was a stationary player basically all of last year. And early this year, he talked about it on the broadcast after the game. Okay. Said I wasn't very good to start the year. And I'm feeling more like myself. You can see that he trusts his teammates, and you can see that he feels a little bit more at peace with his body, where he's not having to overthink every action to the point that we saw him throw one off the glass and try to dunk one this week, which I never thought we'd see again. Double-digit rebounds, I'm absolutely thrilled about. I don't even necessarily care how he got them, but there was one or two that I think Derek brought up down the stretch where he went up and he got that's not just that, hey, the ball fell to him. That's Joel high-pointing the ball and making sure they're ending a possession. 5 assists on top of that. So the ball's just moving all around the floor. Absolutely love what I'm seeing from him. And I think because of how he's playing, that's how you end up in these games where 5 or 6 different guys are in double figures. They're able to play a cohesive offense. We talked about that one Raptors game early in the year as this is the benchmark for this team. This is what they can be. Joel can score 30. Maxey can score 30. And there's still room for all these other guys. And then he missed like 3 weeks. And we said, I don't know if this is a thing that you can ever count on or rely on. And now we're seeing them do that repeatedly. That makes me really excited about what this team can be later this month, let alone in April and May and June. If pie in the sky scenario happens and they're healthy and they go on a deep, deep run that everybody's been hoping for. But for right now, all I can say is I'm super encouraged by how he looks and how the team looks around him as a result of that.
So I kind of want to start off with just one part of what Kyle started off with was where he said, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure when, like these guys and Bree also, when this would happen. And now I move to the part of where we are right now of the encouraging piece of it is where I thought after the games against Memphis and Dallas where I talked about, and I kept saying the encouraging piece of all of this, and Kyle just talked about the encouraging part of it all, for me is though now is when we discussed how he trusts VJ Edgecombe as a young player, we already know about Maxey and Paul George. That was obvious. He signed here. Now Embiid is trusting himself within the flow of what they're doing. And if he can, we were saying for the last couple of years, hey, man, you don't have to score 33. Score 27. Grab your rebounds. 1.5 block shots. Assist the basketball. He's doing it out of, he has to now because of the knee injury that slowed him down. But when Tyrese Maxey talked about in training camp and media day about just how happy he is to see Joel Embiid happy. We didn't get a chance to see it even though he started the season. They were really good early on. We saw some happy moments from Joel, but then he goes down for 3 weeks. And it was never consistent. He was still in the 25-minute per game restriction where he couldn't get out there and play. But now he is trusting himself with this version of who he is on that knee, throwing the basketball off the backboard, which I don't want to see, but he did it. And
you want to see the confidence. You don't want to see that specific play. Exactly.
Yes, he got a dunk at the end of the game, and that was fantastic for him. But it was another drive that he drove from the right side of the floor, finished with the left on the left side, fell to the floor.
And that stinking cameraman.
Right. But he did it and got up.
APB on that guy.
And he got up. So that's where it is for me is that he's trusting his teammates, but more importantly now he's trusting himself and his game with his teammates where Tyrese can get the 33 and he can get the 27 and is still an impactful 27 where he's happy, he's doing his fake celebration and all of those things, still getting to the free throw line, close to double digits. And he's frustrating when he's missing these free throws because what is going on, Joel? You're like a 90% free throw shooter, it seems, because you always make them. But that's where it is for me. I'm happy in watching him trust himself with his guys where he knows he has 1, 2, and 3 that he can rely on and not get super frustrated. Great call there, Bree, with that layup finish to the left where he falls to the floor because of the cameraman. But earlier in the season, we weren't seeing him doing that because was he thinking about landing on that knee? Was he worried about somebody bumping into him? All of these things that you have to go through in your mind, the gymnastics of it when you are dealing with the injury and wondering what's going to happen to you when you land or if somebody's going to hit you a certain way and then your knee buckles and you fall. He's not doing that. It's instinctive now that he's just making a basketball play out there, and it's great to see the trust that he has, and he's having fun. He played 33 minutes, and all of those 33 minutes out of maybe a play or two here where we were frustrated with something that he did, he looked really good out there on the basketball floor, and this is really, really good because, again, they played 2 games already in this month. They have 15 more games to go. They have 3 sets of back-to-backs. Today, he won't play in those. They're surprising the hell out of me right now. I don't know what's going on with Joel Embiid. I don't think he's going to play in the back-to-backs.
No.
But if he can get through double digits, like, 17 games, 12 of these throughout the rest of this month and play at a high level like this, that would be really, really, really impressive for him. And the confidence just continues to shoot up for him as he's out there with his other guys that he just simply feels good about.
So I just had a random thought, and it really is random. Remember at the beginning of the year when we were like, yeah, you might have to start quitting because I don't like having VJ and Kelly out there with 2 non-shooters or 2 questionable shooters on the floor, calling VJ a questionable shooter. My goodness, how things have changed in just 30 what odd NBA games.
Unbelievable.
But look, Embiid doesn't need to be prime MVP Joel Embiid to be effective in part, and I know Aaron brought this up earlier. In this instance, he didn't mess up. Embiid is leveling guys on screens. He creates so much space for Maxey, for VJ, for Jared if he ever decides to make a shot again. For Quentin Grimes, both because of his post-ups and drawing double teams, but also with the screen setting. Mm-hmm. It's why this really can be a good group to play next to Joel if this is who he is. And if he can stay on the floor regularly, he makes everyone's job so much easier. He creates space. He has a ton of gravity. It is just easier. And this is why, like, when it looked clunky for like 2 games and people lost their minds with Embiid, give them time because their skill sets really can mesh. And look, I'm sure there's going to be ups and downs. This isn't our first NBA season. We've all experienced it. But just I keep going back to, I just want to see these 4 play together for 10 games, 20 games, a season, 2 seasons, just to see, because you've got 4 guys who have A, worked really hard to become the best versions of themselves, B, are really like smart basketball players and have a real diverse set of skills. And I'd love to see what they can figure out with a real long runway.
By the way, shout out Joel Embiid, because somebody pointed out earlier in the show when we got started, when you guys were talking about him, great pass to Jabari Walker for that underhand pass to him for that dunk, timeout Knicks. And I was frustrated because earlier he missed Dominic Barlow on the very same play. First, Kyle was like, throw it to VJ. He was wide open. He didn't throw it to him. He was at the nail right there. Should have passed it to one of those 2 guys. I know he probably felt like it maybe could have been tipped away from him, but I thought he had a real clean look to Dominic Barlow. He found Jabari Walker for that same play, for that finish. Great passing once again for Joel Embiid, our Ace Hardware temperature check, the player that is heating up, playing more minutes, feeling more comfortable. Joel Embiid, our heating up player temperature check right here by Ace Hardware. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. It's cold out there, so make sure you guys do that if you need some help. All right, when we come back, run a Super Chats because we have a ton of them and we need to talk about all the things that you had to say. We appreciate it. Hang tight. We'll come right back. We'll get to your Super Chats right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show.
Guys, we all know the feeling. You walk into a jewelry store, you're trying to pick something out for that special someone in your life, but you're in over your head. You're like, what's the difference between all these diamonds? What if they don't like what I think is going to look good on them? It can be a really stressful experience unless you're working with Joe and Michelle at Bucci's Jewelry and Design, which has been such a game changer for me. They make the whole process seamless. From the minute that you walk in, they treat you like family, and there's no pressure, no pushy sales vibe. They just want to listen to you. They want to help you figure out what it is, your partner, your mom, your girlfriend, whoever, your dog, even whoever you want to get beautiful jewelry for, they're going to help you figure out what it is they'll love, and then they're going to design it there custom for you in-house. They've been in the game for 30 plus years, voted Philly's #1 jeweler year after year. Over 1,000 5-star reviews, speaks for itself. Check them out today at BucciJewelers.com and tell them the guys at PHLY sent you.
And guys, next up, we want to tell you about Xfinity and their 5-year price guarantee. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment included. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select.
Welcome back here on the PHLY Sixers post-game show, final segment for us as we hang out with you on this Saturday night. Big win for the Sixers, by the way. Sixers taking down with the head-to-head. Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Maxey, where they're going to be doing this for a while, guys, with these two going against one another, playing against each other, and the numbers that they're going to put up. Jalen Brunson led the team.
Jalen Brunson going to win any of them?
Scored in 31 points tonight for the Knicks. He had 4 boards, 4 assists as well. And he also had Tyrese Maxey again, 36 points, 8 boards, and 4 assists tonight. No Andre Drummond. Got a little bit of a rest tonight. Dem Bona getting a run again.
I'm not confused by that because Bona has played better than Drummond lately. What I'm even more confused by is Drummond playing in the Dallas game. What was going on there? What was with if anything, there was even more justification to play Drummond tonight against Cat and Mitchell Robinson, who are some big boys. But I think Bona played pretty well and deserves those minutes right now. So good job by Nurse. Good job by Adem.
No, and Drummond's been trending downward for a couple weeks now. So with Adem starting to play better, I hope to give him a lengthy chance to win that backup spot.
All right, let's get to the Super Chats. Got a ton of them. Got to put the glasses on, Kyle.
I'll help you out. I think we have a haiku from our friend Skunk Riley at some point, so I will be called into action that point.
All right, EJ Barrett, I was talking about you a little bit earlier before the break. Thank you so much. 2 passes, Joe to Walker, and my favorite, Joe, faking between the legs, and the bounce pass that led to Maxey's.
You see it, EJ. We're on the same wavelength.
The other one that I thought he was really good was when Tyrese Maxey missed it in the first quarter, where Joel was like, so what? I'm passing this anyway. It was really, really low to the floor.
Oh, the bounce while he's on the move.
Yeah, and he was going so fast when he caught it. It was tough, but I love the trust in his teammate to pick up that basketball and take that shot, even though it was a miss. It was a really good pass, fun one. EJ Barrett also says, $50 million aside, I think it's nice to see Paul George enter, the Boston Heat, Ray Allen type of era. Also, VJ willing to pass to Joe at the free throw line, maybe an underrated trait. So when they go to that zone and he is the one that's the release valve there in the middle of the floor, most of them are just like, all right, here you go. It's no longer just Nick Batum and those guys that you trust. Yeah. Everyone's giving him some love there at that free throw line.
And while VJ has a long way to go as a pick and roll guy, particularly as a pull-up shooter, like the mid-range numbers this year are pretty disastrous. I think what you have seen from him lately is more patience, more poise, more 1 or 2 extra dribbles to draw someone to him. and then hit somebody like Joel at the nail, or it's a kick out for a pick and pop Joel shot, or it's a swing, but whatever it might be, I think he's learning how to wait out the defense, where early in the season, as both a passer and a shooter, while he was able to make plays and has the athleticism to just be like, oh, wow, he's by you, there are times when he's just slamming his head into a wall, and it's like one half beat, half of a second is good enough for you to find the opening. And so I think you're seeing VJ come along there, and that's to the benefit of him and Joel Embiid.
Yep, absolutely. All right, EJ with one more saying McCain, Grimes, Oubre, Watford, Bonus/Drummond is a fun bench. But Kyle and Derek agreed on maybe a little bit of a wrinkle there. When Kelly Oubre comes back, which we've talked about, will he be in the starting lineup? And then Barlow coming off the bench? We'll find out. You forgot Walker in there too, because they could use him in some instances for some special team moments there as well.
I'm a little curious about two guys particularly. Watford, who at this point, the skill set he brings doesn't feel super urgent to have.
I kind of
on the
forgot he
floor.
was on the team, if I'm being honest.
Like, I think people have talked about him as like, because there was more excitement for him coming into the season as like, oh, him and Kelly. I am way more excited or interested in Kelly coming back than Watford, who I'm like, do I really want him taking the ball out of VJ and Tyrese's hands, or Joel's hands, or even Paul's hands? Not really. So I need someone who's going to make shots.
Well, not only that, but he's taking so much off the table defensively from the other players you could be putting in that 4 role that it'll be interesting to see how he uses them.
My playing the other side of it, we always talk about how you can't have enough ball handlers on the floor.
For sure.
Take the ball handling and just hope he's not a negative when it comes to the shot.
Yeah.
I think you might trust his shot a little bit more than Dominic Barlow's.
Oh, and you should too.
You should, right. But you also trust Barlow's energy and the extra work that he does more than him. So that's going to be really interesting. And to EJ's point, that's not a bad bench rotation that you have to figure out. That's a good problem that Nick Nurse will have. Thanks, EJ, for all 3 of those super chats. Davon, a.k.a. Schoolboy Beats, real fast as we're talking about the passing, the Maxey cross-court pass to Quentin Grimes' wing 3-pointer.
Yep.
That made me think, remember when AI did it to Aaron McKee in the game 1 in overtime against the Lakers in the finals?
Remember when Ricky Council did it the other year against the Spurs?
Go get him, Rick!
Two players with equal stature in Sixers history, Allen Iverson and Ricky Council.
Equal amounts of confidence, maybe.
Go get him, Rick.
I will not debate you on that one.
Tonight,
sure.
the Sixers overall, they were not selfish. They had 25 assists on 49 made baskets. That's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good.
By the way, we got to update the record in the back. We're still sitting on 17 and 14.
Only 2 games out of date. That's fun.
We haven't been here.
That's
yeah, we haven't been here. I'll get up and change it in a second. But all right, let's get to the next.
I just saw it on the screen. I was like, oh man, sleeping.
Jay the Jungle. Hey fellas. Oh, big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.
We were having a Dumb and Dumber quote off in the
was
chat
there a
earlier.
Dumb and Dumber? Just when I thought couldn't get any dumber. You totally redeem yourself.
You go and do something like
Thank
this.
you, Jay. Great
Totally
win over the
yourself.
Knicks. This feels like the team we expected with a healthy George and Embiid. Are you guys concerned about McCain? Is there a breakout coming? Appreciate it, Riaz.
This might require some more time and thought. So perhaps.
As we do that and get ready to talk about McCain, first of all, Paul George and Joel, this is exactly what we hope for. You just hope that it's consistent in terms of games played and how it looks. Now, we got to tell you, we're going to overtime here on this Saturday night. Head on over to allphly.com for the remainder of the show. We thank you on the television side. We'll be back on Monday, 8:30 start time against the Denver Nuggets. First game back at home. And get an 8:30 tip-off in South Philly pregame show, 8 o'clock right here on the PHLY
8:30 local tip-off. Absolutely
Brutal.
criminal.
It's
Adam
brutal.
Silver, Alcatraz.
All
For
right.
that one.
Jared McCain, who wants to go first?
I mean, we talked about this a couple days ago where, like, I am certainly increasingly concerned about this year. I'm not too concerned that they'll trade him at the deadline because he doesn't have any trade value right now. So in a weird way, that's helping his long-term stature with the team. I still think the talent is there and the ability is there. Am I a little concerned that he might lose 5% of his athleticism because of the injury and that 5% could push him over the edge? A little bit. But I think it's probably more likely that's just going to take him, like we're seeing with Joel. Like it takes sometimes more time than you want to fully. It's one thing to get on the court with these injuries. Another thing to get fully back. I'm worried this might be a lost season.
I think the most immediate concern I have is that there is a non-zero chance he's out of the rotation completely the second that Kelly Oubre is healthy, because I think it could be subbed in a way where you have VJ, Grimes, Oubre, George, whoever your backup center is. And I think that's got enough ball handling, enough potential shooting. You have I think more of a defensive group on the floor. Devon wasn't kidding. He really went and changed the old, and Bree switched it back before he came back. Gave it away.
Devon tries to be slick because we
what
always
was
know
that
Kyle
floating
can get a little
laptop
wordy.
next to me? So I think there's genuine risk that Jared falls out of the rotation, even if it's for a couple of games and it's not a long-term thing potentially. And if we do reach that point, I think he should probably go down to Delaware and just be like the
Go off.
30-minute a game, take every shot you want. I don't really care what Marjon Beauchamp and some of these other guys are doing. Just like everything runs through Jared, because what you don't want to happen is he gets no basketball reps all year and all he's getting are 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. He has played poorly, and I have not wanted him to be on the floor all that often based on his play. But you have to fight that urge as an organization, because what we saw last year is important enough to say we have to see this through and try to get him through this while he struggles with the things that are supposed to be his bread and butter, frankly. He's missing threes. Like, forget about not finishing inside the arc. He's missing wide open threes, which that's a big problem.
He made the two, and it was the ones that he missed that the transition. The Sixers were rolling. It was probably like, they were probably up about 13, 14. And you're like, okay, if he makes these, of course, it's going to bust the game open.
Yeah.
But they were also, all right, Paul George passes it to him right across the half-court line. He's over there. Nobody's back for any defensive rebounds, and he fires it up. If he's in a good place and he's making these shots, it's not a bad shot. But he hasn't been consistently enough, making them consistently enough for him to just squeeze off any shot. Green light.
By the way, he's 2 for 5
going.
from 3 is like a good night. I think what you're talking about, Devon, is it's a little bit like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, where you want him to have the confidence to take those shots, but because he hasn't played well, there's a little bit of like,
no,
you got to know your place in the team.
And my thing was,
like time and score. And
the one that he had, they did close out on him pretty aggressively. Put the ball on the floor.
Yeah.
Put the ball on the floor, and we won't mind a pull-up jump shot from the free throw line, or maybe if you can hesitate them and get to the basket and get one of those scoop layups that we know he makes. Do that, and then that's just going to open up that shot for you once again.
And as much as the threes are his bread and butter, he was so much better inside the arc last year. He's shooting like 38% on two so far this year.
It's real bad.
And I think that's probably where, and I don't think like all of this comes down to like losing a little bit of athleticism or playing with the sleeve on his knee or anything like that. I think there's certainly a confidence aspect to it right now.
There's a ton of that.
Where he does seem like he is second guessing more than he did last year. But they need the threes, honestly, like he took 5 threes. 4 of them I was okay with. One of them was probably a little questionable. The only one that really got me was he had one possession where he had like 2 open threes and an open midi, and instead he decided to like try to do a scoop layup at the rim.
I was like, get him out the game.
Kyle was not thrilled with that. But that to me was like he's second guessing. He's not sure if he should take that shot. Yeah. That's why the threes, even if some of them weren't great shots, I'm okay with him taking them just because like whatever you do, like be strong and wrong. Like do it confidently.
All right. Jared McCain, still a lot of faith in you, man. Let's see if you can make those shots. All right. Let's get to Davon, a.k.a. Schoolboy Beats, says, BTA, more BTA. It's coming together, fellas. Love to see it.
Yeah.
It's coming together, man.
And in that same vein, we have one from James Alexander who said, this team is no joke. let's win the East.
You know who said this the other day
Oh,
after the Dallas win?
was it Jeff Teague?
Jeff Teague.
I did see him say that. I didn't watch the clip, but I saw it was in my YouTube recommendations because I'm a Jeff Teague
and all
fan.
those guys. Jeff
Club
Teagues,
520.
Jeff Teague doesn't say stuff like a lot of the other guys to just grab
He
headlines.
says stuff. It's not that stuff.
Not to grab the headlines like this. When he's talking basketball,
You
trust what he says when he's talking basketball. And the way he explained it with Embiid and George playing their roles, but with Maxey and Edgecombe doing their parts as well, he said the same thing. And there's still a lot of basketball to be played.
Yeah.
So other Knicks, Cavs can improve. The Hawks with figuring out Trae Young and Giannis and all that stuff. Get them.
They're figuring it out all right.
Yeah.
They're figuring out that he ain't going to be there anymore.
7-game series with somebody. Detroit's going to be a tough out no matter who plays them. But could they be in the mix?
I will say, though,
knows?
with Detroit, they're one of those teams that they have a lot of guys who in a playoff series, you're like, I think I'm going to let you shoot 8 threes.
Go ahead, Ron
And if you make
Holland.
them, if Josh Hart, if you shoot your team in through a series, God bless. But Asar Thompson, if you want to bomb away on us he's a great defender and he's got a lot of other good traits, but they got a few guys like that where I'm looking at Detroit and it's Cade and a whole lot of just like,
So you'll live with Javonte Green taking 7 threes.
boy, will I. Boy, will I. But so look,
Yeah.
the Knicks, I think, different caliber of offense, but we're going to have a super chat from our friend Marcus here on the Knicks, I think.
By the
Feeling
way,
pretty
my
confident.
buddy Al says Carmelo Anthony said the same thing about the Sixers on television, not on this podcast, but on television as well. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Who'd you have? Marcus Blackstock?
Marcus with a super chat.
76ers are a bad matchup for the Knicks because they compromise their defense. Cat can't guard either, which leaves Mitch by himself with Joel, provided he's healthy.
Yeah, and there's two sides of the matchup thing. The Knicks pose some size problems for the Sixers, but you can make them have to guard in space, and they're guys that do not want to guard in space, mainly in the front court. So there's a push-pull. They've ended up on the right side of it, these 2 games in New York, but a series is a little bit different.
Also, it helps when Joel can get Mitch in foul trouble whenever he gosh darn pleases.
We were just yucking it up
We were talking
tonight.
about
Like
mental.
after the first foul, I said to you, Devon, I was like, he's going to get Mitchell Robinson on a rip through in the next 2 minutes. And he didn't get him with a rip through, but he got him around the rim and got him to jump. And there was second foul.
Man.
Then the third foul was the up fake, and Mitchell threw. He was like, God damn it, like threw his arms up. It was the whole night was just like goofball fouls from Mitchell Robinson. I was cracking up. The whole
Mitchell
game.
Robinson still has an axe to grind with Joel Embiid from
Yes,
that
he
playoff
does.
series.
So do the Knicks fans, apparently.
Yes, they do. So he takes that personally, and Joel says, cool, I'll just get you in foul trouble still. You continue to be upset. By the way, everybody, before we get to our final Super Chats and say goodnight, we're close to 200 likes. Can you get us to 200 likes before the end of the show, please?
Come on, baby.
We only have 2 more Super Chats, and, of course, the world-famous, you know what, upcoming, please, 200 likes before we say goodbye. All right. Is that slugs?
Slugs are bad.
Are bad. VJ's goes to move is, whatever move he goes to, pump.
That's a good one. That's actually a good one.
Thank you, Slugs.
Go to move. Knock down, step back 3.
I always do feel like I have to bring up that this was a running bit from a super chatter who no longer appears
Come
in
on,
the show
Pump.
chat.
Come on,
Who
Pump.
every single show
We know Pump's
leading
watching.
up to the draft and even through summer league and early preseason was saying, what is VJ's go-to move as a dig on his skill set? And now that man could be found only on a milk carton. He is a missing person.
Probably got a 77, and he just doesn't want to tell us that he bought that 77. In
Now
the black,
that would be a plot twist.
Yeah, I
in the
don't-
black jersey, he bought the 77.
At least our friend Teacher Got Game basically did the mea culpa
Yeah.
and was like, I was wrong. VJ rocks. So be pump. It's not too late, brother.
Yes.
We welcome you with, I feel like Dave Chappelle doing the Rick
The Rick
James.
James.
Come over here. You know exactly what I'm referring to.
Got the braids and everything. Let's go to Skunk Riley with the haiku.
It's my time, my
of the
super
night.
chat time. Skunk Riley says the young studs are slowly meshing with Joel and Uncle Paul, he calls him.
Uncle Paul.
This haiku is titled Everything in Its Right Place. Quiet click of gears. Morning light fits all my thoughts. The world hums aligned. I don't know what
Does that follow 575?
I always have to double check these. I have to like do
I
it
don't
in my
even
head
care.
after.
Pump did that.
Skunk loves the haikus, so I trust that Skunk is
Now the great
following
Skunk.
the rules of the haikus, stopping through the chat. So thank you to Skunk and everybody
Derek's
else.
checking to see if it's really.
There's got to be a haiku checker somewhere, right?
Yeah, it is.
Everyone on the internet.
It's 575.
Yeah, no, I know it's
just count it in your
575. I
head.
just don't know if that followed it.
Yeah, I always have to talk it out, the syllables of it. So we will do a film review on the haiku.
Miko F and Suave says the go-to move is stealing the ball on an opponent's rip through. That's VJ's move. Shout out to Pump, who hasn't checked in a while. All right, before we get to the world famous roll call, I want to tell everybody with our schedule that's upcoming. We are here Monday, as we said, with the pregame at 8 o'clock for the Sixers and the Nuggets with no Nikola Jokic in town and no Aaron Gordon and many others in that lineup for the Denver Nuggets. So we'll see, with the vibes very high for the Sixers, what they have in store for the first game back, which is a lot of times a trouble spot, but we'll see. We are here for a 3 p.m. show on Tuesday, game Wednesday, off Thursday, back here once again for a game on Friday, off Saturday, game Sunday for us here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. So a very busy week, 3 p.m. show, which will be on Tuesday, and a lot of basketball games for this week and the entire month of January. Let's get to the world famous. It's time for the roll call.
I'm just thinking of that Rick James Chappelle Show sketch now, and thinking of the best part of the whole thing is not anything Chappelle did, but it's when they interview Rick James, and he's like, "Who do you think I am? I was a grown man. I got more sense than that. I wasn't grinding my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch." And then there's like a 5-second dramatic pause. He looks dead at the camera and goes, "Yeah, I remember grinding my feet on Eddie's couch." The wild boy, Rick James himself. Oh,
I
my
love the
God.
fact that he participated.
Oh, he was such a good
In the
spirit about
Chappelle
it.
show,
Because like
the
they did
skit.
the Prince one, and Prince wasn't going to, I get like Prince's whole mystique
Yeah.
and aura. He's not
Can't
going to
do
do
it.
something like that.
Yeah.
But seeing Rick James participate in that was
great.
something. So I always shout out to the legendary Rick James.
And Charlie Murphy is a great storyteller. So there you
Boy,
have it.
is he.
Do want to point out we are 3 away from 200 likes. If we don't hit 200, we're opening up Tuesday's show with Ben Simmons' offseason workout
Oh,
video.
no!
Hit that like button.
Why
to
would you
spare
do
us.
that to me?
You don't want to see that.
People are going to hit the thumbs down now.
He's back in the States working out
Guys,
too,
really,
people.
I need the thumbs up from you
back in the
guys.
States.
Not for me, but sort of for me. Definitely for these guys, but absolutely for super producer Bree, who has to sit here and deal with our nonsense every day and find clips and do the transitions in the show and get everything just looking exactly how it should. Hit the thumbs up button for Bree, if nobody else. She's our president of basketball operations. She makes this show run. Show some love to Bree like you would to us. We're all one big family. Hit that thumbs up button, Charlie Murphy.
I've seen the way they talk about us when they disagree. Show more love to Bree than you show
So
to us.
thank you to each and every one of you for being here as if we get a game, blouses.
We
in
got
the chat.
it. Derek, you called it.
We did
Got
it. Mission accomplished. We're on a battleship in the middle of the ocean. Anyway. Thank you to everybody.
Hopefully
No
not
Ben
the
was
Gulf
here.
of Mexico.
No Ben.
Tonight, Deck Incorporated says, "No Ben!" 3 exclamation points. That's right. Thank you to Kyle Wright. Thank you to SB Cole, K Hack,
K-Hack, what
Riaz
up?
with a super chat. Thank you to Win Forever, Interstellar, great
Sixers
movie
winning
by the
forever.
way, always worthy of a rewatch. Thank you to Chief Mischief.
I thought you were going to say Chief Keef watching the show.
If Chief Keef is watching the show,
Spread the news,
Thank you,
Chief
brother.
Keef. Yeah, there you go.
thank you. Love finito. Love I don't like. Let's talk. We'll talk off camera. Thank you to Michael Caine, who's checking in from Portugal.
Whoa, Michael Caine.
Thank you to Smy
Said it was
Guy, Bill Caldwell.
in Portugal while watching the
And Joaquin is in Dublin, was watching the game at 3:30. Thank you to Joaquin checking in. F. Chillaxing has not been chillaxing in the chat. Has been a wild boy or girl, I'm not sure tonight. But thank you to F. Chillaxing hanging out here. Thank you to 3-time. Thank you to Sammy UK
Three-time
Sixers
Sammy.
checking in from the UK.
Sammy!
Thank you, Sammy. You done messed up.
You done messed up.
Hey, Ron.
You done messed up the Carolina Panthers. We saw you lose
Thank
today.
you to Free Will. Thank you to Edward King. Thank you to Leonard Blocker, Rodham ZK,
Lenny.
Jerry Sinclair, Dreambert.
Dreambert.
Thank you to Uptown Buck,
you
not to be
dreaming?
confused with Uncle Buck.
dreaming
Another
about
great
a
movie,
deep
by the way.
playoff
Shout out to
run?
John Candy.
Is that what you're dreaming?
C. David, Remo K, our guy Al, the 2-minute warning.
What up, Al?
The Slim Sleeper is back. Thank you to Vince Pellegrini
What up,
checking
Slim?
in. Thank you to
Dang.
Bryce, Eugene Ross, Philly Star 33, James Sheehan, Kid Koopa.
What up, kid?
It's actually Kid 22 Koopa, but I like to just, you got to really emphasize the alliteration on that
Coleman
one.
Potts, what up?
Can't add a third K, though. That's where you get into
no,
real
you
trouble.
cannot.
You better love somebody.
Love somebody, love somebody.
George
love your
Davis,
Sixers.
Densley Richard, Marcus Blackstock, Hedfa,
What up, Heffa?
Blanche, that MF. We know who Blanche is.
What up, Blanche?
Thank you,
Love
Blanche,
the
for
Golden
checking
Girls.
in.
Love the Golden Girls.
Thank you to Mellow 3 Point, Scott Sotan,
Mellow,
Freddie
my
Powell,
man.
Constantine. Slugs are bad with a super chat. Are slugs actually bad? Anyway, slugs are bad. Thank you. Kimber057, Vino, Marty Bones, Theo, X-Man, Daniel Yu, Miko Suave, Key to King, Mom's grandchildren. What's up to Mom? Thank you to Val. Thank you to Jess. Thank you to my girl Nona.
Hey, ladies.
Reardon, PHLY guy, Nick Aub, veteran of the Psychic Wars, Doug Craig,
Dougie.
Mr. M. Reason, Lost Sleep TV.
Give me a reason.
And of course, the notorious Yams. Thank you, Yams.
Good to see you,
Actually, you know what? I don't even know if he's here, but I got to say it because of Charlie Murphy, because of Rick James. Darkness in the building. Thank you to Darkness.
Turn the lights down. I heard Pete Carroll might be out.
Oh, and thank you to Coleman Potts. Thank you to Coleman
Coleman Potts?
for checking in.
Can we also say that little programming note? I'll be on the Eagles halftime and post-game shows tomorrow. Filling in for Jamie, who's still on vacation. So I get to hang out with Bo Wolf tomorrow. 4:30 kickoff, 3:45 pregame. Hang out with us on the Eagles pregame
baby.
show.
Go Birds.
Go
As
Birds.
always.
Go Birds.
Join Devon then. Derek and I will be at the arena for the first time in
a while.
Well, for me, it's been like a month. For
Yeah.
Derek, it's been a
Need
little
some
shorter.
directions?
But I will be at the game on Monday. Sixers Nuggets. Jokic ducking Embiid with an injury. That's what they say, right? Just kidding. Get well soon, Nikola Jokic. Everybody, we will be back for pregame, postgame, 8 p.m. pregame on Monday. Sixers Nuggets. God damn you, Adam Silver. Until then, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notifications each and every time we go live. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Stay safe. Take care of one another. Goodbye.
See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.